Now, ladies and gentlemen, within the next week, CS2 will have first been revealed to the world and played within the community for almost a full year. During the later days of CSGO, the community was hyped and excited to see where Valve was going to take the Counter-Strike franchise. Day after day and month after month, we'd see data mines and leaks showing us that Counter-Strike 2 was being worked on and no longer just a rumor, but it was actually coming very soon. And the player count showed, reaching an all-time high of 1.8 million active players. And that has yet to be broken. We have come close, but still not broken. And then CS2 released, which at one point was the main reason so many players were actually playing. It felt like just yesterday my friends and I were booting up CSGO on a weekly or sometimes daily basis to see if Valve gifted us with the access to the limited test, as well as players were just warming up for CS2 on the last days of CSGO, which definitely boosted the player count. And then we fast forward to just a few months ago during CS2's release. Things started to decline and decline fast. That being the player count, the skins market, and some may say the community as a whole. But on the other hand, a lot of players would say things were just leveling out, becoming the new norm. Love or hate the term, Counter-Strike 2 released unfinished. And yes, for some clarification, it had its reasons for the way it was, but that's besides the point. Just until these last few days, Counter-Strike seems like it's starting to heal. That being with the community, player count, skins market, really everything. The game's problems aside, CS2 has officially just hit over 1 million active players once again. And not just 1 million, but 1.3 million, and it's been like this for almost a week straight. But why? Today's video, I want to discuss the obvious, such as the player count, why it's up, is it inflated, has Counter-Strike 2 been fixed, the players who have claimed to say Counter-Strike 2 is dead, have those players come back, or is there just new people coming to the game? We're going to discuss all that alongside a bunch more. Today's video sponsor is Skins Monkey. Skins Monkey is a buying and trading marketplace where you can trade off your old skins for something new. All you do is log in with Steam, then you trade the skins you no longer want to pick up the new skins you want to obtain. Any remaining cash from trading goes to your balance that can be used in any future trade. By using my code Mando, you can get up to a free $5, and if you choose to deposit alongside using my code, you get a total of a 35% deposit bonus. With Skins Monkey's large variety of skins, they also offer daily, weekly, and monthly giveaways. If interested, it'll be the top of the link in the description below. Now, firstly for today's video is the player count. I want to discuss the old, the new high, and the low in between. For a quick timeline, I'm just going to rewind 1 year. Let's begin in the summer of 2022. At this point, leaks and rumors for Counter-Strike 2 were on the rise. We didn't know it was going to be called Counter-Strike 2, but Source 2 Counter-Strike was on the way. The later months of 2022, CSGO in terms of new content was pretty much dead in the water. Aside from major updates with new cosmetics such as stickers, and the one-off case like the Revolution case, we weren't really getting much. And the game also had a whole lot of problems that weren't being addressed. But little did we know, all the devs were busy working on CS2. And then you fast forward to the early months of 2023, where CS2 was revealed in March, and the months leading up to that, we were starting to get real evidence and leaks through data mines seeing that Source 2 Counter-Strike 2 was on the way and it was going to be called, well, Counter-Strike 2. Now this is all my opinion, but you can also see this statistically on the player count chart, that the hype in terms of Counter-Strike was more poppin' before the game even came out, or at least the early months, and not really right now in the present day. Though it's close, the hype then can't really compare to now, which leads us into right now, the present day. Within the last week, I was just checking Twitter, and I saw on my timeline that most people were tweeting out that it was a beautiful day since CS2 is reaching 1.3 million active players. That being for the first time since October of last year. But I think you guys, alongside the entire CS community and maybe even myself, have a question. As much as people and some players were saying CS2 was dead, some of the reasons were great, others weren't. Why have we seen such an increase? Most players would most likely assume it's due to the new case release earlier this month, featuring 2 new maps, that being shoots and baggage, modes such as arms race, and that, for those who don't know or don't remember, this is from CSGO, but at the end of the day, it is new content, so that does help. I decided to do a little more digging to see if maybe unboxings were up quite a bit. Is the skins community in a big hype right now? And nothing really seems to be out of the norm in terms for skins. As of right now, recording on the 27th of February, we're at 30 million unboxings for this month. As compared to the end of CSGO's era, maybe the early days of Counter-Strike 2, monthly unboxings were pushing into the 50 and 60 million category, and that was during the all-time high player records. So that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But like we just mentioned, with the new content featuring cosmetics, definitely does help, but the same update we got that content also fixed a big chunk of the game, that being in the Call to Arms update just a few weeks ago. This addressed some of CSGO's biggest criticisms, but also problems since it first launched over a year ago. This hasn't necessarily put a complete stop or halt to something like Peeker's Advantage, but it's definitely helped and toned it down quite a bit. The sub-tick system, especially with ping, has definitely improved, whereas for an example on CSGO, if you had 50 to 60 ping, it felt playable, it was okay. Inside CS2, just up until a few weeks ago, if you had 60 ping compared to CSGO, it felt like you were on 200 ping inside CSGO, when in reality it said you were playing with 50. And as of right now, after this update, everything feels okay. You also have the hype train that has just begun for the first CS2 Major. Now this starts in March of 2024, so next month. It's from the 17th until I believe the 26th or 28th, where 16 teams battle it out for the title, prize pool of $1 million, but that's not really where a lot of the money comes from. It's the sticker money, which I have a couple of videos on that, as well as there's a bunch of articles out there saying that the Paris Major paid out over $110 million to players and teams. And that was just what Valve paid out, so you definitely know they made probably a couple $100 million more at the very least. Normally, whenever a CS Major happens, players from all walks of the community, if that's the hardcore fans, the casuals, the sweats in Premier, they're all going to want to get a feel for the game. Maybe get remotivated because the Major's on. They want to play while they watch. But the Major's just a little under a month away, and the sticker update is probably just a couple weeks away. The question is, why would players still play a dead game, quote unquote? Now, this is all my opinion, but I definitely think it's this most recent Call to Arms update that added all these new cosmetics, the ability to put 5 stickers on a craft, most importantly, the gameplay changes that actually fixed a big chunk of the game. Is there still problems? Yes, but a lot of the major things have been addressed, which is awesome. You also have all these recent leaks alongside the Major start. There's no longer leaks and rumors floating around, rather actual data mines that us, the players, can see that Valve is working on brand new maps. And as I'm recording, I kind of just want to throw this in here as well. On top of all this that we just discussed, if we take a quick look at the gaming landscape right now, at the moment, it completely sucks. AAA studios have been continued to be shat on by small indie companies, and games just fumbling left, right, and center. Studios and companies with multi-million-dollar budgets in the $100 million range to maybe even more. Compared to games like Pal World and games of that nature, whether you love them or hate them, they have a budget under $10 million and they're outperforming these big games with sales, but also longevity with player count. People are actually sticking to play them. I think people who have once played Counter-Strike, played CS2 when it first came out, went to go play something else, are now coming back, one because of all the hype, the leaks, the rumors, the game becoming better. They're coming back because CS is the franchise that doesn't change. You haven't played in months, years, or maybe decades. Graphics and minor changes aside, it's the same product as it was before. Now let me know what you guys think down below. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Stay positive, stay sexy. I'm out, guys.